quality. If there's one thing Azeroth Roundtable's about, it's quality.
Hey, look, it's that ha-ha kid.
There's no doubt when you watch an Azeroth Roundtable show, you're seeing something of quality.
I would actually dispute that.
I peed in a bucket once. People
Wait,
said
what?
it was of quality.
What?
I'm
What are you
watching a
saying?
gecko give a man a Cheeto. He ate it. Geico.
I am watching a blank screen.
Hi, everybody. We're live now.
Seriously, it's just a blank screen.
Except for
It's just
Ben,
black.
who doesn't get to see anything.
Oh, there you go. I hit play, and now I'm seeing a sumo wrestler skating.
It's a show about a show.
Why is there a sumo wrestler like figure skating?
Because it's unexpected, Ben.
Well, it's also Geico, so I guess we're sponsored by Geico now?
Sweet. Can't
Cool.
wait for that check to roll in.
Yeah. Or would you prefer just free car insurance?
Well, I guess that would depend entirely on how much the check is, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Hi, chat room.
Hey, chat room. Are you prepared for a quality show?
Chat room, we love you. Hello. I don't want to get this all too serious too fast, but chat room, we love you. Ben?
I'm trying to get Alpha Geek streaming. There we go.
All right, good.
Now let me tweet it out
Glad
that
I
we're
said
live.
all that stuff before Alpha Geek could hear, because I would have been embarrassed if Alpha Geek had heard it.
Well, some people tune in that way.
Sure.
Yeah. There, now I retweeted my tweet that said that we're live.
I'm going to tweet that tweet.
You're going to tweet the tweet that tweeted the tweet?
I'll drink your milkshake.
I don't have a milkshake.
Seepage.
Oh, wait, no, actually, I do have a milkshake. It's in the freezer. Sarah got it for me.
All right, if you have a milkshake, and I have a straw, you see,
No?
my straw goes all the way over there.
You're really going to have to suck.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
This is weird. The connection for the audio stream has not worked.
All right, anyway.
Connected earlier. What the hell? Oh, now we're streaming again. Okay.
Occasionally, I just like to quote, "There will be blood."
Yes, quite.
Sometimes you like to do an accent. It's what we do. This is the show.
Pretty much. All right.
Are we-
Are you ready to do the actual show? You want me to stop my recording and then get ready to start the actual show?
Are we doing the show? Or is it time to do the show now?
I think so.
Oh, hold on. I have, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute for a second, and then I'll be right back.
Okay. I wonder what he's doing. But hello, people. Welcome to the show. Well, kind of technically. This is the pre-show, the show before the show, when we just act like a couple of jerks.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you for asking.
Quite.
Is it time to start the show?
Well, hold on. Let me get this ready. Okay, it's ready whenever you are. You are doing the intro as we discussed, correct?
Sure. I can do that.
All right.
I gotta
Well, we're
be
good.
very careful that I click the right button for transition. Because
Okay.
if I don't, it's going to perhaps promote another show.
Oh, okay. Which show would that be?
We'll talk about it.
Oh, okay.
You know, at the end when I talk about other shows.
Oh, okay.
But I was building a thing.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Building things is nice.
Anyway. Okay. Congrats on 500. We did it. We did it.
500. Wow.
I like to think that the number's just a fiction, and it's really just a construct of a system that's designed to really just give us an accurate number of how many episodes a show's had.
Yeah, it's like, how can anybody really tell us what our reality is, man?
Okay, I'm starting the show. John can't count. I can too count. It said 500.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it said Hrats on 500. He wasn't really congratulating us on 500.
Oh, well, rats. All right. Gonna start the shoe in a 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. Hey everybody, John here from the show you're about to listen to. And I came back into the past to tell you that you're listening to Azeroth Roundtable. Because it turns out when we did it the first time, we forgot this part. That's not true. This whole intro's a lie. Take it away, Ben.
Welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 200. My name is Ben Bumhopper, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hi, Ben. Good. Good to be here.
Oh, crap, did we forget to do an intro?
Nope. Did one. We'll put one in post.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Ben.
And there, I just saw the gift that you chose.
You know, so
that's
when
perfect.
we don't have a guest, spoilers, there's no guest on tonight's show.
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to get Ryan Reynolds.
For those of you who actually tuned in to see if we did it, we didn't.
No.
And for those of you who thought we'd do something special for 200, we didn't.
We didn't.
And for those of you who expected a solid episode for episode 200,
no promises.
we probably won't.
We'll see.
But if you're here to see what happens, well, congratulations. We're going to all find out together. Now, Ben, when we don't have a guest, I like to fill the bottom panel with animated GIFs, because it's what you do.
Yeah, I think so.
And I found an animated GIF that I feel perfectly represents our show. And it is the Pokemon Psyduck talking.
As opposed to the non-Pokemon Psyduck.
The Pokemon Slowpoke, they're talking with each other. Meanwhile, a very confused Pikachu looks between them. And I feel like this perfectly sums up the Azeroth Roundtable experience. So
yeah. I mean, that's when we have a guest or when we don't have a guest. Either way, because Pikachu can actually represent a third person on the show or the audience.
Mm-hmm. We nailed it. We nailed it right from the get-go. But, Ben, there is something I'd like to do for episode 200.
Oh, really? What's that?
You know, we have been asked sometimes if we're being interviewed for various reasons, if we're on another show or what have you. People have asked us what it makes your show unique, or they ask what was the start of the show or the idea behind the show. And every time we say the same thing, we want a show that is about us, friends, just talking about WoW. And sometimes we invite other people to join in that conversation, but we want it to feel like you have just walked in to a conversation about World of Warcraft, a game we both love, and we're talking about it. And you can be a part of it. You can listen in and not have to feel all creepy.
Okay.
So, Ben, tonight I want that to be represented in its purest form.
Okay.
I want us to just talk about WoW. So, with that in mind, Ben.
You know what? We do that sometimes already.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When it's
Other
not
times
about
we talk about Dragon Ball
Diablo
Z
or Dragon Ball Z
Pokemon.
or Pokemon, you know.
Star Wars or Spider-Man or something else.
We started on the tangent, so now we can move right along. But then,
Okay.
Ben,
Yes, John.
how's rating going? What's going on there?
Oh my gosh. Dude. Okay, so you know how Nighthold was released this week?
Yeah, have you been?
Well, here's
Ben?
the thing. We thought, hey, let's go poke at Nighthold and see what we can accomplish. So, John, we walked in Nighthold.
Okay.
Mind you, I was a little upset because I still haven't got my hidden artifact appearance, and that's the only reason why I'm going to Emerald Nightmare at this point. But we went into Nighthold, and we were about maybe 16 strong or so.
Okay.
Walked in and said, oh, hey, look, there's trash, and killed some trash. Said, oh, hey, look, there's a big giant scorpion. Then we fought a scorpion for raid time.
Okay.
For the entire raid time.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It is a fight where I wouldn't say that personal responsibility is like the biggest key to it. I'd say maybe like the tanking is the biggest key to that fight, but not exactly like, oh, okay, the tanks need to taunt back and forth because that's what they do with every fight, right?
Right.
Well, with this one, we had Tet main tanking the big scorpion, and then Sarah was tanking all the ads and everything that spawned. So, are you familiar with the fight at all?
Nope.
Okay, so big giant.
Turns out
big
when you
giant
don't
scorpion.
go, you don't have to watch the strat videos. It's really incredible.
Okay, so John, there's a big giant scorpion. You attack it. It
Got
flips
it.
over. Then there's a red like pulsing thing
Then
that
you attack its
for maximum damage.
weak point for maximum damage. Great. I'm glad we both thought the same thing. Is that real? Did you just make that up to make me feel better?
I did actually.
Oh, so it doesn't flip over?
No, it doesn't flip over. There kind of is a weak point, kind of. But okay, so what happens is
What
you have
does
the
it
fight.
say that I completely believed that was the mechanic?
Because you played too many video games, John.
Probably. I was like, of course, giant scorpion. How else do you kill a scorpion? You flip it on its back and look for the part that glows.
Exactly.
That's how pesticide works.
Yeah, that's why when roaches die, they're on their back. It's because
Oh yeah, nailed it.
Perfect. So anyway, so big giant scorpion, okay, and it's like covered in I guess okay, so in Asuna where you go to the dragons and there's the purple crystals and stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, it's covered in stuff like that. Like its chitinous shell is made of that stuff. So
Okay.
as you're attacking, bits of it fly off and impact into the ground, and then you can like say, oh, I don't know, stand behind them for an upcoming mechanic.
Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like,
Can you imagine how tough this fight would be if that didn't happen? How fortuitous that this boss particular drops pieces of its shell for you to use.
yeah, it'd be really bad because here's the thing: when you start the fight, and we knew this was going to happen, but we kind of didn't at the same time. So you start the fight, and then all of a sudden, from this crack in the wall behind the scorpion, like a crap ton of little scorpions come and just stand around the room. And like you can't attack him, you can't do anything.
Like
but
they're
kind of in
watching, like, oh, they went after Big Smithy. Let's watch
Exactly.
this. Let's see what goes down over here.
It's like, oh, they're gonna fight Big Smithy. I bet he takes them out too.
You get him, Smithy. Get him with your stinger.
But okay, so anyways, they're out there, and periodically throughout the fight, groups of them will kind of come and join the fight. So that's when Sarah will pick them up and hold on to them. And this is an ad management kind of fight. And before we get any further, I will say we're doing this on normal, so there's not an extra set of scorpions, which are like red scorpions, which make things go slow. And they add a
Red
whole other
scorpions,
mechanic, which is,
that's
hey, that's the
serious.
heroic version. There should be an extra mechanic. Makes sense, right?
The only scorpion I know is yellow.
Yeah. And he teleports and shoots a hook out of his hand.
Get over here. Anyway,
Okay, come here.
look, I'm trying to put it on terms I understand. It's fine.
Okay. No, that's fine. He's like Roadhog. No, wait. No, that's back to Scorpion. Never mind. Forget I said that. So anyways, giant scorpion. Little scorpions come around. The scorpion does a thing. It's like focus charge or something like that. I forget what it's called. Where it essentially shoots like a big conal laser thing out of its tail. It'll turn, towards the raid and do that. So then, you have to get out of the way. Otherwise, it gets stunned and take damage and stuff. So then comes the big thing called Shockwave, which guess what the chitinous pieces on the ground are for, John? Shockwave.
Okay.
So
Somehow I feel like I'm getting the boss strat.
Oh, you are.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You have to hide behind that. Otherwise, when Shockwave happens, you fly to the edge of the room, activating those scorpions that are in that area. And they come in early as opposed to when they're supposed to.
Just like in a real fight, when people form a circle around you, if
Yeah.
someone gets pushed into you, you're supposed to get a few cheap shots in.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So here's the thing. It's a very, everybody's responsible for their own thing. It's a lot of it has to do with tank placement of the big giant scorpion. And it took a while for Tet to kind of figure out exactly where to go because he's got to jump back and forth between 2 points and stuff. Because the chitinous bits would land where we would have to stand essentially in the scorpions in order to be blocked by the shockwave. So it's like, well, that's kind of counterintuitive. That's not working. So it took a lot of placing and everything like that. But we went through. I think we did I think we had 7 wipes on it, maybe 8. I don't remember exactly. But by the end of the night, we were actually doing really good. We were, people were staying alive. And that has nothing to do with the healers. It was everybody gets hit by the shockwave and is in the room, and then all of a sudden there's 500 scorpions everywhere, and then look, being covered in scorpions is not a good thing.
No, that's a bad day.
No, not at all.
I would have been done with 1 scorpion, honestly.
Oh yeah, I know. I guess we can go into your fears of how that's an amalgamation of your fears later.
Spider bees.
Yeah, scorpions are just spider bees.
Scorpions are spider bees.
Yeah,
it's true.
Think about it, folks. But so we ended up killing the first boss. It took a little bit.
So you did kill it.
Yeah, we did. We totally killed it. And it was one of those, everyone was super excited because, it wasn't we worked on it. This is our 5th, 6th night. Everybody's just frustrated. There's enough mechanics in there that I think it kind of worked well for our raid team because earlier in the night, I think it was maybe the second or third attempt or something like that, we hit the enrage timer. So, too many people had died. We didn't have enough DPS for it, right? Oh, and I forgot to say at 75, 50, and 25, it has enough chitinous skin off, or shell off, so that it takes more damage for 15 seconds, and then it regrows its thing. So
how
there's
scorpions work.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they work.
Cool.
So yeah, we were able to kill it, and everybody was super happy about it. We didn't have wipes from just the stupid, dumbest things. Although I will say, though, I felt absolutely horrible at one point because we were fighting. We were down to close to about 20% or so, and we had 1 person dead. And usually we'd save a battle res for a tank or a healer because they're important. I'm not saying DPS isn't, but at this point I'm okay, we're at 20%. I don't know how close we are to the actual enrage. Let's get this other DPS up so that, we can just make sure to just, slide on into home, right? As soon as that happened, all hell broke loose and the raid wiped shortly thereafter. So I'm well, if I hadn't interrupted the flow of everybody doing the right thing, we might have gotten it sooner and been able to take a couple hits at the next boss. But
sometimes we wipe the raid, Ben. And
I know.
Why do we wipe the raid?
So that we can clean it up later?
So that we can learn to res?
So we can learn to not die. How's that?
Okay, good. Life advice. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We're doing
Learn to not die.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know if you guys were actually going to be going in yet, so cool that you're going in there, checking it out.
That we were successful. Our team is, it's a friends and family team. I've said that probably too many times on the show by now. But, we're generally kind of behind content. But this expansion, we've been doing a pretty good job of keeping up for the most part. And, in a Trial of Valor or whatever, the raid part, we've gotten to Helia. We spent 1 night working on her, and that was on Sunday. So then Wednesday hits, and then we're in Nighthold. So it's we can, at least kill the first boss. That's good. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. We're probably going to go back in there to kind of poke at it again, see, play a little bit more in there. If that doesn't work, go to Trial of Valor, at least, kill the first 2 bosses because we're pretty competent on them now and, kind of see how things are going. And I got to say, I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Well,
we miss you.
I might join you guys for an Emerald Nightmare run. I just gotta actually make sure you're doing it.
Yeah.
At the time that I'm also
Because it's not going to be one of those, oh, I'm online, I'm in raid, woohoo, oh, you're going there, fuck off. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that.
You gotta bleep yourself.
I gotta bleep myself, dang it. Okay.
You thought it was always just me trolling Ben, but it turns out he's got as foul a mouth as any other man.
Well, I was impersonating you, so I guess it kind of fits, right?
Yeah, it does fit, actually.
Right? That totally works.
Sure, good excuse. Yeah, I'm gonna get in there with you at some point and finish that raid, so I can say. So, okay, let me ask you this: do you get your new artifact appearance once you complete that, or is there more steps?
No. The thing is my artifact appearance, the hidden one that I'm going for. That's the one you're.
No,
you're
not the
about.
hidden one. The one that you quest for.
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't gotten the quest for it.
Oh.
Because
you didn't get the one where you got to go into the not the heroic. What's the difficulty above that? I've forgotten all WoW knowledge. I've replaced it with other knowledge that is not useful to me. Also, yeah, mythic.
I mean, here's the thing. Now is it a hidden appearance or is it the new appearance that comes in like 7.2?
I don't know. It's the one that you get through questing, I think. It's not hidden. It's on the list. It's like number 3 on the list. So there's 4 appearances. There's normal, then there's an enhanced, then there's a PvP one, and then there's a 4th one.
Okay, yeah. Then no, I guess not because I don't have a quest for it.
Oh, all right.
Maybe I don't know.
Well, never mind.
I need to look into it then because I might have missed something entirely.
Now I have to go with you, and now I'm gonna just have to find out for myself. And then when I'm done, I'll be like, "Yes, Ben, you do get an appearance." Of course, I'm sure Twitter will tell us long before that day happens.
Yeah, that's true. Like tomorrow, they'll let us know. No, I haven't picked up a quest for it though. I mean, I know that there's one that has the specific achievements that are tied to it, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing a quest line for it or not.
Yeah, I think one of the achievements is you have to complete a quest.
Well, crap. What quest is it? Do you have to find it or beat it on Mythic for that appearance then, I guess?
It's a quest where you have to do a bunch of Mythic dungeons, and then you have to turn in a bunch of stuff, and then you have to do a bunch more Mythic dungeons, and then they send you into Emerald Nightmare to do something. I think it's to kill Xavius.
So what you're saying is you have that quest and you need to kill Xavius.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you might have to kill both Dude Before Xavius and Xavius. I've lost the name of everything, Ben. It's all gone. I can't remember Mythic. I can't remember
Dude Before Xavius.
Malfurlearn.
Malfurlearn.
I can't remember.
Malfurlearn. Okay.
How close was I? What's his name? Cenarius! No, I remember it. It's Cenarius. Ben, his name is...
Were you thinking of Malfurion, who is in Heroes of the Storm?
I was like, what's his... Yeah, but I was like, what's Malfurion's friend's name?
Malfurlearn.
Malfurlearn.
You need to make a druid name that now. You realize that.
Malfurlearn. You know, he's the guardian of the forest.
Of the forest.
Of the forest. He either guards the forest or a person who grows flowers. It's fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Flowers. Something like that.
Okay, so we'll figure that out at some point. Someone will either tell us what happens or
I'll actually look it up.
I'm liking how people in the chat are spelling Malfurlearn.
Yeah, Malfurlearn lives.
Malfurlearn lives. Anyway. Look, I'll have you know that there's a lot of lore across just the Blizzard universes.
Yeah.
There's a lot to keep in there.
Especially about Malfurlearn.
And I'm very, very tired.
It's been a week, hasn't it?
It has been a week. So, one day the tale of Malfurlearn will be told, and all will respect it.
Yeah.
Anyway, exactly. I've been meaning to really kind of double down and get back in. My desire to jump back in and get real heavy into WoW got a little sidetracked by a small event in another game called Diablo 3 New Season.
Oh.
But I am excited, Ben. No, I can't talk about it yet. I said I wouldn't. I've already talked about it in other places. Ben, what if your WoW character was in Heroes of the Storm?
I would think that that's pretty cool because I'm a Healy monk, and there kind of is a Healy monk in Heroes of the Storm, but not even similar enough that I'm like, oh, it's in there, yay!
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there you go. That's all you need to do. You just need to rewrite your character's lore, and then Lily's basically you, and
and then heal by throwing jugs. I mean, that's kind of the big thing that unfortunately I can't do that in WoW.
I heal by throwing jugs, and it got me thrown in jail.
Oh.
Anyway,
by heal do you mean kill?
I'm excited about that. It's made me excited about the rogue again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know a whole ton about Valeria, right?
Yeah. Okay. Valeria.
Valeria. I was close.
You're adding an I, but that's fine.
There's so many different
Varian,
fantasy things.
Valeria.
Not even in here.
I mean, that's just WoW already. That's 3.
It's like Sauron and Saruman. Who knows what's what?
Vivendi Universal Games.
No, that's stretching it.
Vivi, the Black Mage.
There's a Valerian Steel from Game of Thrones. They're everywhere, John.
Yes, that's accurate. That checks out.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't really know.
Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series.
Don't forget the Archdruid Valflurnian.
Yep.
Yep. Can't forget about him.
Vandalf the Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And later the White.
No, Vandalf the Vite.
The Vite.
Yeah.
John Vite.
Vilvo Baggins.
He's Angelina Volie's father, you know.
Okay, let's stop that now.
You say that, but you want to just keep thinking
I know,
of names,
I really do.
don't you?
But anyways, so back to Valera. So basically, what I know of her lore is essentially from the Hero Spotlight video, which is, she fought with with Varian. I guess, they're like, we're gonna name you something similar. And Broll in the pits.
Yeah, Broll Baremantle.
Okay. Yeah, I read about him in a book once. But
in WoW or in real life?
In real life, it was, the history of the ages. I don't know if that's actually a book.
I don't think that's what it's called, Ben.
I don't know.
Whatever. Now I think you're on the naming convention train. I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know if you meant... Wait, hold on. I'm remembering something. We were talking about heroes anyway, so this is a fine sidetrack.
Okay.
Ben, do you remember when was it you who, when we were first getting into WoW, you made it your goal that you were going to go around to every book in World of Warcraft and read them?
It's because of the achievement.
In the world books. No, but this was before achievements. You really wanted to read them.
Well, yeah, I did, but I didn't know where anything was until the achievement happened, and then I made it my goal to get that one achievement, the well-read one that has you go and finding all of the books. I actually would go in and read them all.
So you did read every single one of them?
Yes, I did.
How'd that go for you?
It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. The absolute best one was when I had to go to Strathome and the living side, back when there was a living and a dead side. And so I went into the keep or whatever near the end, and there are these like 2 or 3 books in this one room. And so, I'd read them or, start reading them and everything. Then these guards would spawn and come and try to kill me. I'd kill them, go back to reading, and these were actually kind of longish books. So, finally finish one. I'm like, okay, cool. Read the next one. Guards come again, have to kill them. So it's just leave me in peace. I'm trying to read.
What was the craziest thing in WoW that you thought was a secret that now in hindsight probably wasn't a secret? And I'll give you a perfect example to give you some time to think about it. Okay,
good. Because I didn't know exactly what you were going for here.
Back when I ran Scarlet Monastery for the first time, you go through, you get up into the actual chapel itself, and there is a undead priest back behind a bookcase.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember his name, but...
It's like Bishop...
Lazarus?
That's 2 on the nose.
Now I want to know. Anyway, chat room, if you can find out who the hidden guy... He's not really hidden, but the guy back there is. Anyway, so I remember thinking at the time that I had been shown something incredible. Mm-hmm. That to me was the pinnacle of secrets, and whoever was leading that dungeon run had discovered something amazing and had been kind enough out of the generosity of their soul to impart it to me. And I think the next time I ran it, I was like, wait, guys, watch this.
You took me through that dungeon. And when I was a lobby, we're like, okay, we're gonna get you some gear. Maybe the tower will drop. It'll be cool and everything. You're like, watch this, and you walked in and pulled the whole room and killed them all and everything. You're like, oh, that's really neat. And you're like, but wait. And then we went around, opened up the door, and all of a sudden there's this undead there. You're like, look at him. And I'm just like, yeah. It's like he's an undead and he's in the church.
What's he doing there? How did he get there? I thought that was the coolest thing in the entire world. And nowadays, I don't know for sure, but nowadays I imagine if you hit M, he appears on the map.
As like a boss.
If he's even still there. But if he was there at the time, it would just be like, no, here's where he is.
Yeah, he's over here. It's
This
cool.
is where he is.
High Inquisitor Fairbanks.
Okay. That's fair.
So we were both right.
Yeah, we nailed it with
Yep.
Archbishop Lazarus.
Yep.
Who's
We were
Lazarus?
right there.
Oh, that's the Diablo bad guy.
And there's also biblical lore, but whatever.
No, we're talking about Blizzard Lazarus. Blizzard
Okay.
Lazarus is a real dick.
Okay, does he come back from the dead?
No, but he sticks stones in people's heads,
Oh, that sucks.
like in a kid's head.
Oh, and apparently he is still there, but he's face down and dead if you open the door.
Well, yeah, because I killed him.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome. I was shown the one and only secret boss. And,
and John, he's so hidden that obviously he's still dead. No one's cleared away his body, right?
Yeah, he's still just back there. I like to think that Alessander didn't know this off the top of her head, and that in the time we've been talking about High Inquisitor Fairbanks, she went in there and found him. It was just like,
great.
Nope, the check's out. He's dead. He didn't make it.
Yep. No, unfortunately not.
No, but I thought that was the coolest thing. And actually, it's so funny because I remember hearing about Scarlet Monastery for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before I was even close to max level. I was still very new to WoW. And it was like listening and hearing like the craziest story you'd ever been told. Because it was like, no, you go into the chapel and you got to clear out everybody in the chapel, because if you try to start the fight, they'll all come rushing out at you and they'll all attack you all at once. And then there's this undead behind the bookcase, and you kill the guy, but then she comes out and then she resurrects him, and then you got to fight both of them at the same time. And it just, it sounded like just magic to me. And it's so funny the way that when somebody describes something like that to you at the time, it sounds exactly like that, like magic. And now I think we almost kind of take it for granted.
Well, that's because, everything's data mined. Everything, like there's a something on the PTR. People go through, they find every single thing about it, post it. Everybody knows about it within hours. That's one of the reasons why, when we've talked about having secrets in WoW, like, when Turkey was randomly found forever ago. It's just one of those things where, like, the little secrets are great, but hearing the just the normal, common, everyday things like explained away, you're right. That is that extra little bit of magical. So you don't actually go into it knowing what's going on. So I mean, I was trying to think about some sort of secret thing that is definitely not a secret at all, and keep in mind, I got into the game way late.
Okay.
Like, I started shortly after the Isle of Keldanis was, implemented in game. So, all of Vanilla, pretty much all of Burning Crusade. Hey, look, here I'm starting.
Yeah.
So, the first time you ever showed me the sewer exit from Undercity, I was blown away. And I don't remember if I asked you or not, but I was sitting there seriously saying to myself, does the Alliance know about this? They have a way into the Undercity.
Do they know?
Seriously.
Has anybody told them?
It's like, oh God, if they ever find out, they're going to come and kill Sylvanas. I mean, oh my gosh, it is one of the dumbest things ever, but I was like so protective of that point. I'm just like, oh man, we can't let them find out about this. I mean, it's a really big sewer opening. They could just march a whole army right in there. Oh wait, they did for Wrathby.
They did. Yeah, turns out that actually happened. But it's funny because you mentioned the Undercity. That was one for me too that actually really got me. It was the first time I went down in the Undercity. And there was a whole, lead up to it. I was a big Warcraft 3 is where I really got into the Warcraft universe. Yeah. And so the story of Arthas and all of that really resonated with me like it did with a lot of people at that time. And when you first go there and you walk down the hallway and you see the rose petals on the ground and you're like, that's from the cinematic. And then in the music, you hear the faint echo of that music and the crowd and the bell tolling. And you're just like, that's also from the cinematic. And then you go into the throne room and you go, that's from the cinematic as well. And
oh my gosh, I've seen these places.
There's blood and a piece of the crown on the ground. This is crazy. This is the coolest thing ever. This is so great. And then you do that drop where you take the elevator down and then you see the Undercity. And I just remember for me, that was a moment where I was like, this game's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Again, for anybody who's maybe listening to this who came to the game a little later, I hope that plays and makes sense, but you also have to keep in mind this game is 11 or 12 years old?
12.
No?
12.
12 years ago, we were impressed by stuff easier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a big part of it is, they built underground. That's one of the reasons why I'm still enthralled by Ironforge. I mean, it's this whole underground city. It's really cool to me. I love Ironforge. Whenever I am actually on the Alliance side, if I need to go to a city for something, it's Ironforge. Stormwind, okay, it's Stormwind, but Ironforge is just, it's cool. The place is awesome.
Well, and the other thing,
it's got a museum.
It does. It has a whole museum and a big flooded place that I like because it's got water in it. I don't know. But the big thing is that, up to that point, I think my biggest point of reference was EverQuest for me. And that was if you want to go from this place to this place, you're going to go through a very obvious, like, U-shaped hallway, and there will be a loading screen in the middle of it. And that's how you go from one place to another. The idea of going in one place and you're outside, and then suddenly you're inside, and then all of a sudden you're underground in a series of caves and the lighting looks completely different. Like, that was super cool. That was also around a time of, I don't want to say directly compared, but like of Dungeon Siege, where a game without a loading screen was like a marvel to begin with. It was like,
I definitely agree with that. And look at me, I was coming from Final Fantasy 11 where everything was a zone. Like, a major city had 4 zones to it, just because that's how it was. That's how they had to do it. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that you go from something like that into oh wait, I can't run away from this monster and hit the zone wall and be safe. Because I mean, how often did people train things in EverQuest or Final Fantasy? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm being chased, I need to leave this place, get to a loading spot, I'll be safe. Whereas in WoW, it doesn't really happen as much anymore.
Can you imagine that? Like, when you put it into WoW perspective, it's like, oh no, I aggroed things. I need to run from the Barrens to
Orgrimmar.
Yeah, that's what it was like. But it was, I mean, it is weird being able to see that transition.
Wasn't that a big change that they had to do because people were training mobs for so long until finally they made it so that they would rubber band and just give up and turn back to their original spot?
Well, the rubber banding's been in since the beginning, but if you'd put consistent damage on certain targets, you could keep them for long enough. And so it resulted in people kidnapping flight masters.
Oh man.
So what would happen? I think we might have told this before, but we'll tell it again. Just pretend it's a clip show, if this sounds familiar.
Hey John, what about that time that you told that story about the flight master?
That was good. Then all of a sudden, a cut in quality sounds different for some reason.
Yeah. So then back then,
but yeah.
Actually,
So
when the Looter and I did the 100th episode of Battle Pits, we did a clip show, and you could tell the cut in quality. It was great.
So what people used to do is now this was back on a PvP server, so this was probably easier to do at the time on that server. So what they would do is they would go into Orgrimmar and they would attack the flight master and get the flight master trained and pulled out of the city. This would be a big group of people, and they would drag the flight master all the way back to that cave that is, when you exit Orgrimmar, if you hang a left and you go all the way down by where you fought Galacras. But none of that existed at the time. Anyway, that cave that's down there, and they'd drag them all the way into the back of the cave, and what they would do is they'd just have a tanky character constantly, like, doing a little bit of damage and somebody healing, and then they would go onto the World of Warcraft forums, and they would write a post and say, Horde of Darkspear, or whatever server it was, we have captured your Flight Master. You are going to go and buy this item from the neutral auction house. And until you bought it, we will keep your Flight Master in this cave. And then everybody from Orgrimmar would go to fight them. And then because they had a big group, they'd usually win for a while. And then maybe eventually some of the bigger guilds would get together and we'd go get our Flight Master back. But that was a thing that used to happen for a while. And one time we kidnapped Jaina from Theramore.
Oh, I remember that people did that before, what was it, Pandaria? That as like a final goodbye, we know that Theramore is going to blow up. They took her from Theramore all the way to Orgrimmar.
Yeah. And that was a thing that used to happen pretty regularly. People would just bring...
They just take Jaina.
People would just take Jaina places.
Hey, Jaina, let's go see Thrall. Don't you want to see her friend?
We can make it happen. We just need to have a weird bloody war for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was... There were some really dumb things you could do in WoW back in the day.
Interesting. And people would also guide the big devil swords from Ungoro into Orgrimmar.
I never saw that, but I 100% believe it. People would kite things from anywhere because that was the thing. I don't know if they eventually instilled hard limits or if you could still theoretically do that if you could do small enough damage to it. But
yeah, and Kazakh, that's right. And now, how did they get Kazakh to go through? Because there's an actual zone that you have to go through, or a load that you have to go through. You have to actually drag him from one server to another one in order to get that to work. That's the thing I never understood.
Kazakh used to spawn during a pre-event.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't just sitting in Outland.
No, I think you were supposed to... It's been a while, so I don't remember, but I think he used to spawn outside of Orgrimmar, and people would drag him into Orgrimmar.
Okay.
And then he had an ability that would fire shadow bolts at basically anybody within a radius. And so putting him in the middle of Orgrimmar, everybody gets a shadow bolt, and everybody under certain level instantly dies, and it would just fill Orgrimmar with skeletons and...
Nice.
It was fun.
Yeah. Okay, well that makes a lot more sense because I mean, like I said, I started in Burning Crusade, so the only Kazakh that I knew of was the one there. I'm like, how are they doing this? But I mean, if you think about that, that's pretty amazing, going from Outland, then Blasted Lands all the way over to Orgrimmar.
That's what it... Well, no.
Wait, are they on different continents?
Yeah, Orgrimmar is not on the same continent as Blasted Lands.
So then they also got on a boat.
I don't think they ever did that. I think
yeah,
this is,
yeah, okay.
I think this is from the event. You can't zone with a mob, no matter how much you want to.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's just like if we do it together at the same time, it would happen. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. Sometimes the dumb ways you break the game. I mean, everybody talks about the Blood Plague. There was that time that the really bad hacker got into the game and was just instantly one-shotting everybody. And then people heard about
that South Park
it.
Episode.
Yeah, and people heard about it and everybody logged in, which exacerbated the problem. Because then they were contributing to it. They were like, kill me! I want to see something weird.
Do you remember, and now I don't know, I think this actually happened, and if not, then I'm going to sound like an idiot.
Just making up WoW events.
Yeah.
I remember.
Do you remember the time that the world turned upside down and gravity was bad and everyone just flew?
Nope. No, I think you made that up, Ben.
No, like, okay, so someone had an issue with, like, loot or something like that, or a loot ninja, or their account was hacked or something along those lines. and the GM who actually restored their items or item or whatever it was,
Oh yeah,
accidentally gave him like the GM shirt or the
Yep.
the tabard or whatever.
Yeah, that did happen. They got the GM shirt where they could right click it and deal a massive AoE bit of damage. So they
Yeah.
went and used it to kill, I think it was Gruul at the time, or
Yeah, they
Magtheridon.
did it in their raid. Like, how dumb are you? This won't get noticed because like it had a clear time of like 2 seconds or something like that.
Like Blizzard isn't going to wonder why their current level raid boss got killed in 2 seconds. Well, I'm sure they're just a very good raid team.
Yeah, exactly. They put on a lot of DPS. They had like 10 bloodlusts going on at once. So come on, I thought he gave it to me as a sorry. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Oh man.
Yeah, I got hacked at one point. I did not get anything cool. I just got my items back.
Yeah. Well, and now, do you remember how that actually happened?
Yes.
It was just a spur of the moment thing, or?
So the way I got hacked at the time was Adobe Flash ran an update that had a back door in it, and Flash was being used at the time within the BattleNet launcher, and they were able to install through it. They were able to understand or install a
Keylogger, right?
Yes, they were able to put in a keylogger, and so they got access to my second account, which was nice because they would have gotten a lot more on my primary at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a notice. I was sitting at work, and all of a sudden I got, your account has been suspended. And I was like, I'm at work. I wish I was playing, but I wasn't doing anything. But yeah,
because I remember because I was playing at that point because we were worried because weren't you an officer in the guild at the time? Except it was your second account, so we're like, okay, we're good.
At least I don't think I was. I could have been. I don't know. I've been an officer a lot of times.
And because we got the authenticators like pretty much right after that.
Yeah. I remember being happy. I was like, yay, it'll never happen again. And
Did it?
No, it didn't. Thankfully, I've only been hacked once. Is that still an issue? Are there people without authenticators?
Well, you know what? We actually had this conversation before, and we got a few emails of people saying like, "Oh yeah, I never got one. I don't use the app. I don't do anything."
Come on.
Remember when they were giving them out like candy?
Yeah, it was like the guaranteed item in your BlizzCon bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got like 4 years in a row.
I think
not 4 each year, but
I think I wrote to Blizzard one year and I said, hey, you know what would be really cool is if you gave us an authenticator that lit up. Because I remember at the time, the big problem in my life, the big thing that I needed to overcome as a high school student or whatever, was the fact that when I pressed my authenticator button, it was really hard to see the numbers.
Yeah. That's important.
It was really tough.
Well, okay, to be fair, though, that's one of the things that when I saw it, I pushed the button, I'm like, oh, it doesn't light up. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But, I haven't actually had to put in an authenticator code of any sort in a really long time. But, that's because of the whole IP address. If I were to go, sit at Sarah's computer and try to log in, authenticator. So, that's cool.
I'm holding up an authenticator right now. I literally have one right in front of my computer. Because I still need it. Why? Anyway.
Hey, you don't use the phone app?
I do for WoW. But it's not my WoW authenticator.
Oh.
It's my Old Republic authenticator.
Well, hey, John, I'll see you and raise you.
Oh, look at that. You have yours ready, too.
Yep, but that's because I need to get my account back from them. Because I told you, right?
They stole my account.
Yeah, well, I had the app for that, but that was like 2 phones ago, and I haven't played it in years, so I can't recover my account because it's like, password change. Okay. Put in your security code. Well, crap.
Yeah.
So I haven't had time to play to actually start up the account again, so I just haven't called them yet. So, but it's one of those things where it's like, it it's awesome that Blizzard's taking that security, and I mean they made it actually a feature to be to have like access to the guild bank. You need to have an authenticator. They added that to the actual guild management UI. Just little things like that. They really tried to I'm assuming help out the player as opposed to just cut down complaints of people who got like robbed.
Yeah.
So that's my hope anyway.
Yeah, it all changed. It's all weird world for a while. But
This is Sarah's authenticator collection, by the way.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, one of them I gave her from BlizzCon. Another one is one she got from BlizzCon, and then she's got her SWTOR one on here as well.
Everybody's got a SWTOR one.
Yeah,
Might
exactly.
not see a
It
lot
came
of
with the
use,
collector's
but
edition.
there it is.
Yeah.
Hanging out. It's weird, there's part of the impact WoW had on games that came later, I remember, I don't remember which game, but there was some game that came out well after WoW and all of that. Yeah, Mephalern.
Mephalern, right.
Came out and didn't have an authenticator, and I thought it was really, really strange that it didn't have any sort of authentication or anything like that. And nowadays, people just use Google Authenticate. I mean, Google provides an entire service, so you can just use that off your phone. But
yeah, actually, in order to do Discord, I have it set up on my phone as a secondary authenticator and stuff. It's good.
Yeah. And of course, when everybody else moved to that, WoW moved to this weird future tech world of, well, now you don't even really need to use the app that much. Just if we decide you need it, we'll ask you.
It's like, hey, someone's trying to log in. Is that you?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Match the numbers and letters. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we talk about different impacts of other games on WoW, but seriously, WoW has had so many different impacts in the gaming industry as a whole, not just MMOs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy that a lot of the stuff that they have just with mechanics, how tight camera control will be, art style, even. I mean, little things like that have just kind of just seeped into the collective, gaming lexicon that's out there.
Well, it's amazing that a game as old as WoW, and it's fair to say, I mean, there are kids that are younger than WoW but they're not even, they're almost teenagers, people. We can almost say that there are teenagers younger than WoW. So put that in your thought bubble and think it. So
that's a little weird.
A game that old looks as good as it does. Like, that's as far as the art style can go. I try to put that in mind every time I get annoyed at how armor looks in the game now.
It looks stupid. Oh, wait.
I just want to design armor, Ben. That's all I want to do. It just bugs me sometimes.
Well, I mean, the kind of neat thing about some of the stuff, though, especially with the updates and everything, is like when they do take some old stuff and just totally up-res it and make it look great. So I gotta say, like the Bulwark of Azeroth that you used to get out of, or well, you still get, but you got from Blackrock Temple. Why does that sound wrong?
You mean Black Temple?
Black Temple, yeah. Thank you.
You added a word.
Yeah, I did.
Add a word, change the meaning.
Yeah, exactly. So Black Temple. So that's the shield that like everybody wanted because it's gigantic, especially on a Tauren, and it just looks really cool. It's all spiky and everything like that. Well, in Warlords of Draenor, they had a version of that came from the salvage yard, and it was like the HD version, and I mean it was like up-resed. It probably could have had the same amount of polygons, but boy did it look so much better. I mean, it actually had a reflection on it. It was shiny. And it just looked incredibly detailed. So just going from some of the older stuff and just updating the graphics and going through, and especially with like the updated character models from last expansion, things are looking pretty good.
Yeah, I still to this day, I'm Horde for life and all that, but the Stormwind armor looks freaking cool. Like the new up-resed high quality Stormwind armor, I'm just like, I'd wear that. My rogue's technically roguey, and so therefore A, on the Horde, and B, not going to wear plate, and C, it would make no sense, but I should wear that probably.
Yeah, it looked good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So.
Oh, speaking of, okay, Okay, so on the show we usually don't, talk straight up news and go over PTR notes and everything like that. But I saw something on Twitter today that it made me laugh so much. So
Was it
have you seen
the?
the?
Go ahead.
It has to do with a class mount.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, so you need to look at the different color skins for the class mount that they have because I saw a meme that someone made that was great. It's like I forget exactly the exact wording, but
Which
it's
class
what
mount is it?
the paladin one.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right, I'm looking at it.
Okay. So the meme had a picture of Jaina and says, "When you're Jaina and everyone thinks you're a dreadlord, but you're actually a horse." And you know exactly which mount I'm talking about, don't you?
Hold on. I'm gonna put it in the chat room in case anybody
Okay.
wants to go see it. You've been warned. It is. I mean, I don't think seeing a horse is necessarily a spoiler, but I guess you've been warned.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is really weird seeing like all these mount variants because it reminds me of skins in Heroes of the Storm. Have they said what constitutes like
The skins? It's your spec.
Okay, so why are there 4 for rogues?
That I don't know. Maybe one of them's a hidden skin that you can get later on. I don't know.
I wonder which one's green.
That would obviously be subtlety for poisons.
Okay.
Well, I'd assume.
Poison birds are green birds. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
Stupid.
exactly.
Burp.
Doy. Well, look at the mage ones. Tell me if you can figure out which one's which for which spec.
Well, okay, the mage one's
That
really
sparkly blue one's for fire.
The mage one's really easy, but I'm just thinking like, okay, well, is combat rogue red or is red blood for
assassination?
For assassination.
Well, what are the color options? I mean, green, red.
There is a dark bluish black with a purple hood. Okay.
Okay.
There is a dark black with a bluish hood.
Okay.
There's a red with a white hood.
Mm-hmm.
And green eyes. And then there is a green with a whitish, blackish brown hood. And blue eyes.
Yeah, you said a whole bunch of colors. I'd stop paying attention.
Okay, so it's like...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
There's colors.
I'm pulling it up. But, I mean, that's got to be the different specs. Maybe, one of them is a hidden one that you can get later. Maybe it's, and you're going to hate me for saying this, but maybe it's a version of the mount that other people can get if they're not a rogue.
Well, that's
because they like it so much. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking probably not. I know Spaz in the chat room suggested maybe it's for NPC.
Well, that's also not fair. I should get it. I'm the leader of the Uncrowned.
Yeah.
They should all give me their mounts.
Well,
I should have the pick of the litter.
You should have a whole flock to yourself, right?
Yeah. Also, what happens if I change spec? Do I just instantly unlock the other mount?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not unlocked. I think it just changes.
Oh, it matches your spec.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So if you're an untalented noob, you get one color, and if you're undecided, that's my new theory.
That, I gotta say, that hood looks a little weird.
What? The bird hood?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta put something over its eyes at night, otherwise it chirps.
Otherwise it flies away. When it's in your bag, it makes a lot of noise, so... I don't know. The monk one was kind of cool. I just wish I could see the other colors.
The demon hunter looks like something went wrong. There's a lot going on. It's like... Okay, do you remember that old warrior armor set?
That had the axe coming out of the head?
Yeah. It's like that warrior fell in mutagen goo, and this is what popped out when he was done.
Hey guys.
Anyway, as compelling as it is to listen to us look at pictures, also the new Gallywix model is fantastic. The maybe Gallywix is what they're calling it, but I'm going to put that in the chat as well for anybody that wants to see the new Gallywix. It's great.
Okay, I know we're stopping talking about pictures, but that hunter mount is weird. It's a bird cat. I'm serious. It's a freaking bird cat. All right. Cool.
Well, there you go.
Glad we're there.
Bird cats.
Yeah, bird cats. Yeah. It's like spider pigs, but
What do you
bird
think
cats.
of Gallywix, Ben?
Yeah. That's how he should look.
Yeah. He should be
Ew.
ugly and awful.
Oh gosh, ew, but yeah, that's how he should look.
That's how he looks in the loading screen.
Yeah, exactly. I always wondered why they didn't have an actual unique model for him since, they're doing that. But, whatever. It's cool.
Tev said Gallywix model has physics added to make his face, to his face to make it jiggle. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That makes it...
You know what? If he didn't, I'd be sad.
So they've said that they don't like to go back and redo models unless they've got a good reason to. I wonder if Gallywix is going to play a bigger role in things. I don't know what he's going to do. He's really the worst faction leader of the bunch.
Well, no, see, at the end of this expansion, Sylvanas dies, and then we get another new war chief, and it just happens to be Gallywix this time.
He's just like, hey, I don't know how I got here.
Oh, that just totally opened the door. We're not going to go there. Anyways, I got to say, though, if you look at it, maybe their whole reason for doing it is just, hey, they have a really good, neck fat jiggle engine now.
Sure.
Like, how can we show this off?
Maybe that's the new customization option for goblins. Hey, you want a fat goblin? You got it.
Oh, maybe they're actually adding weight to the characters. Well, I mean, except for Pandaren, because they're already, large.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? But you know what? I gotta say though, all in all, from what I have seen from 7.2, which hasn't been much, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, actually, I'm really looking forward to it. The new artifact appearance looks amazing for rogues. I can't wait to try and earn it. I like to think I'm a good rogue. I'm probably wrong, but I like to think I'm good, so I think I'll get it early.
You know what, John? You're good enough.
It's what it says on. It's my whole.
Darn it, people like you.
It's my whole biography. John Jagger, good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Hey, you know what? That's all that some people can hope for.
Ben, you know what I have to say about episode 200 of Azeroth Roundtable?
That it is just as good as you imagined?
It's good enough.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And where can people find you, Ben?
The best place they can find me is on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. I also do a show with Aludra called Battle Pets and one with Alakaz and Lita called Geektopia. You threw me off by having me go first.
I know. Well, I mean, I kind of took us there, so I thought...
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Now we're acknowledging it, which has ruined any flow that it had at one point, but...
Yeah, so good job. Good job.
You're welcome?
Hey, yeah, you're welcome too. Where can people find you?
You're the one that's welcome. Ah.
Just get scared.
Hi, everybody. John here.
No.
If you're saying, boy, that John fellow on that Azeroth Roundtable really seems to have his act together, and I'd like to know more about him. Well, you can follow me on Twitter, at John_Jagger. I tweet about various things. I favorite as a method of saying, I acknowledge that I've seen this, which makes people think that perhaps I favorite too much. Do I? I don't know. But if you ask me, I'll probably favorite it. But if you say, John, I don't want to see you represented in a visual medium, I want to hear you for some reason, well, you can catch me on another podcast called Core.
Core!
That's available as part of the Frog Pants Network. It's a Heroes of the Storm podcast. So you can hear me talk about
reading this.
Heroes of the Storm.
Like, is it actually scripted?
You can find out more information about that at heroesforyou.com.
This show, however, Azeroth Roundtable, you can find us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. All of our episodes are found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and, of course, at AzerothRoundtable.com.
That's why I wrote it down.
Yeah, okay. If you want to share your stories about things that you thought were secret but really weren't at all or anything, you can always email us. Send those to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, our intro contains music from Rhino's Theme by Kevin MacLeod. You can find more of his music at Incompetech.com.
Hey, Gun 2020, you're late, but hello, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, hello.
That's
Gun
been a show.
Well, it has. There's one more thing you got to do, John.
Oh, right.
I can't believe I have to remind you.
Let me flip the page here. Hi, everyone. John here. You just heard episode 200 of Azeroth Roundtable. Boy, we sure had a fun time making those, and we hope you had a fun time listening. We want to keep making shows, and quite honestly, I'll be real with you. We're going to keep doing it anyway. But you know what makes doing it easier? Your support. And you can support us by going to patreon.com/AzerothRT. For just pennies, maybe, an episode. I don't know. They said they don't like that, so maybe not. But, it's there. You can help support this show to continue being awkward, being weird, and reminiscing about the old times. And talking about topics that don't pertain to WoW on this World of Warcraft podcast. You can be that voice. Patreon.com/AzerothRT for more details and for the support.
So from me, from John, from everybody else, thanks for listening and be good to each other. Bye, everybody. All right, that's an episode, John.
We did it!
We did it! That's 200!
We did it!
Technically 201 if you count the 0 episode, but no one counts 0 episodes. Right?
Yeah, nobody counts it.
And no one counts 0 episodes.
No, 0 episodes are 0 to deliberately tell you it's not an episode.
Yeah, exactly. We should go back and listen to our 0 episode.
We should, actually.
Hey, you know what? I got access to it right now. I can play it. I don't know how long it is, though. Let's see.
It shouldn't be very long, right?
I don't think so. Okay, episode 1.
That's one
All
too
right,
many.
0.
You've gone too far.
Oh, all right, episode 0. 7 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, we'll play a little bit of it.
Okay. I don't know how loud this is going to be to you, so if it's super loud, I'm sorry.
Hey everybody, John here, formerly from
Nothing's changed.
Arcanum of Azeroth, and I'm
And don't
joined.
forget me.
Thank you, Ben.
I remember that music.
No, I'm on here too.
We're both doing
This
this.
show is for everyone. I don't know what that even means. So hey, we both used to do a show. Remember the good old days?
I'm going to skip around a little bit. Just now?
Yeah, sexy title. So,
Well done.
this is our first quote-unquote episode. This is episode 0, which is going to be me and Ben being silly. So we can
we
get
do
it
that.
on iTunes so that we can put the real Now, in the meantime, to get you excited,
Never mind, don't abbreviate that.
so you can go to AzerothRoundtable.blogspot.com.
Oh, no, don't go
Oh,
there.
That
don't
will
go
be
there.
where
Let's let our
we-
address
It's
anymore.
better on the internet.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep it there for now.
Yeah, internet is what you
Well,
God,
no,
we
tell
just,
all
like-
your friends.
do. Tell your friends, do that.
We just
And tell your
spammed
enemies
on
too,
and
because,
on,
you know,
didn't
in all
we?
honesty, we like our listeners.
Yeah, and our show is subpar, so you could subject your enemies to it as a form
And-
of torture.
Our show's pretty cool, so you can tell your friends about it. Yeah. All right.
I blame Darth Revan. Really, he ruined it for everybody.
In the
She-
I don't know
meantime,
what that means.
yes, there's definitely. But
There,
in the meantime, everybody, thanks for listening to episode 0, and you'll hear more from us, and we hope to hear more from you.
and it'll be a lot better. because we won't have just finished a 2.5 hour long podcast and be all tired and weird.
Nope.
Well, we'll be weird.
It's gonna still be
It's
tired
kind
and
of
weird.
us.
It'll be better than this. So.
You should have, because that was a good stopping point.
Okay.
That was a good stopping point. There. I called it. It's a good stopping point. So
You
we
did
stop
it. Yeah. If Ben says it's a good
Yes.
stopping point, if it's good enough for past Ben, it's good enough for future Ben, current Ben.
Yeah.
So nothing's
Current-
changed. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed.
we still just we talk like we know what we're talking about, or just say stupid stuff.
We promised evolution and we've stayed on a flat line, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, because we're a Psyduck and a Slowpoke. We're not a Golduck and a Slowbro.
That's right.
No evolution yet.
Yeah, we're just talking.
See what I did there?
Wah, wah, wah.
So, John, I have a show title, but I don't remember why we said it.
What's the show title?
Big Smithy. I don't remember what it was from. It's like right at the beginning.
Well, call it Big Smithy and we'll let the people find out.
Okay. I'm like, huh. Wonder what that's for. Oh well.
I like this. I like the idea of you just writing down words you think are funny and then trying to decide, I don't remember what they meant, but I'm going to go with that for the show title.
That's what I do a lot of the time for the show title. I just kind of pick something that someone says that I thought is funny, and I go with it.
Big Smithy.
Yeah, just like last week, I really enjoyed the thought of Stitches being made from 3 shaman.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Stitches 3 people.
Stitches 3 people. Stitches 3 people. Oh man, I can't see now. I'm starting to do the whole I can't talk thing. At least I got like through the end of the show first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's slowly like gotten better as time's gone on.
Yeah, at least you didn't say anything like Malfalern.
Yeah, I had to call you out on that like 20 times.
I'm
'cause
surprised
was
that
really
isn't
funny.
the title of the show.
I don't know how to spell it. Plus, I think it's funnier if it's
Mephalern.
yeah, if that's like the lead up of what the hell did he just say, as opposed to why is the show title called Milfalern?
Mephalern.
Yeah. Good night, Stone. Have a good night. I
Yeah.
just said the same thing twice. What was that?
Good night. Have a good night. Hey.
That's like, this summer, I hope you have a great summer in someone's yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found an old copy of, I found my old yearbook, and apparently at some point, I decided that my yearbook really needed to say John Jagger, and underneath it needed to say the game.
That made no sense. Cool. I like it.
Nope, it's not good, it's not cool, and I should never have done it, but it exists. It somehow wound up in a garage sale, and for a brief moment I thought somebody was going to buy it, which would have been a little weird.
Oh, John Jagger, the game. I need a new game. I can get behind this. Yeah, I can see that happening.
So, okay, I'm going to say something. Are you still recording?
No, I'm not. Do you want me to?
I don't know. I'm about to say something that, depending on how much or how funny you think this is, might go in the show.
Okay, well,
But
hold on.
it might not be that funny. Maybe I just shouldn't even tell it at all.
No, go ahead. I'll judge it later.
Okay. Well, so I was talking about that garage sale where they almost bought my yearbook, right?
Yeah.
We were trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff, and my parents had a whole bunch of old picture frames they didn't want anymore,
Okay.
and they sold them with the pictures of me in them.
Did they even attempt to take them out?
No.
Oh my god. So you realize at this point that you're the picture that came with the frame.
Yes.
So people are either going to throw it away or keep it because they just like the frame and they didn't take the time to actually put a picture of their own in there.
Yes.
So you're in people's houses right now.
Theoretically, I could be in somebody's house right now hanging up on the wall as if I'm their kid.
Or in someone's nightstand, under someone's pillow.
Yeah.
Maybe they think you're really cute.
I don't know.
I can't believe Did they know that they were doing that?
Yeah, they did because they made jokes about it later.
Okay, I've met your parents. I've hung out with your parents, and I love your parents. And that's something that they would do. It just is. It's like, oh, we got enough pictures of John already. Let's just get rid of these frames. You need the pictures? Nah. We know what he looks like. Oh my gosh. Like, are they like just from you being a kid all the way up to like now, or just
Yeah, like there's
scattered?
some baby photos in there, and there's some young kid photos in there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean,
It wasn't a lot of them. It was maybe like 4 pictures, but they did it.
well, let's look at it this way. I mean, they can't be the best pictures because otherwise they definitely would have taken them out. They're probably just like, oh, it's just a generic picture of John in a park or something.
I don't know. They were good enough to frame at one point.
Well, yeah, but now there's better stuff. Much better stuff. Like, pictures of you with the dogs.
We'll just say that.
Did these pictures have any dogs in them with you?
No, it had a stuffed bunny in one of them.
Well, that's why. Because now it's either pictures of you with the dog or pictures of the dogs.
They don't take pictures of me anymore, really.
Well, that's because they have the dogs.
Yeah, they do take pictures of the dogs. That's
Well,
probably what they needed to make room for, honestly.
Probably. There's new frames. And they have like, there's like bones around the frames and paw prints and stuff. So, yeah, it's dog pictures.
Did I tell you the story? My my grandma, this is going to start. Okay, look, I understand that this story is going to start a little bit dark. But
Okay.
sometimes laughing about dark things is fun. So
I'm a little worried, just to preface that.
when they had to put my dog Jessie down recently,
Yeah.
not too long ago. It's not like it was yesterday or anything, but when they had to put Jessie down, I was really upset. And I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I didn't really want to interact with anybody. But that night I got a call from my grandma. And my grandma was on the phone and she was telling me, the usual things that you tell somebody when they lose someone they care about, like, oh, it's going to be okay. It was a
all
good
that stuff.
dog. They're not suffering anymore. All the usual platitudes.
Yeah.
And then she kind of started to chuckle a little bit, and she said, Jonathan, you might think this is an inappropriate thing to say. She said, but I want to tell you because I think you'll appreciate it. And I said, what? And she said, I was talking to your mother earlier, and I said, well, now that Jessie's gone, what are you going to do? Like, what do they do with the body when he's dead? And my mom said, well, we had him cremated. And she said, well, what do you do with the ashes? Do you spread them somewhere? What do they do with them? And my mom said they put him in this little container with a little, like, paw print on it and his little name etched on it. And she said, where are you going to put it? And she said, well, for right now, we're probably going to put it in the closet with Grandma Ruth. My other grandma, my grandma who's still alive, says, what's Ruth doing in the closet? and she says, we don't know where to put her, so that's where we're keeping her. And my grandma starts freaking out, and she says, I kind of hope you go before me, because I don't want to get stuffed in some bloody closet.
Oh man.
So, I mean, that's where my parents put things,
Yeah.
that shows you where their level of here's the other story. If you ever want to know why I have a tendency to laugh at things that are maybe sometimes considered inappropriate, or why my fuse is very short for, how long the statute of limitations is on, laughing about something.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a friend named Blake. You know him. He's your friend as well.
Yeah.
And he came over to visit for his birthday one year. This was when I had moved down to Phoenix. He was still living in Flagstaff at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's his birthday, and we're trying to decide what fun birthday activities we're going to do. And because we're adult males who behave responsibly, he and I decided to stage a mock fight.
Oh, jeez.
An impromptu mock fight. So what happened is I came into the room and I went, and I pretended like I was going to throw, a right hook at his face.
Yeah.
So he blocks my right hook with his left hand. Then he starts to throw a right hook. Then I block with my hand. So now both their hands are tied up. And we all know, if we've seen an action movie, what you do next.
Yes.
What do you do?
You headbutt. It's what you do.
You headbutt. It's what you do. Well, we did. Blake's considerably taller than me, though, and he ended up crunching his nose against the top of my head.
I remember this story.
And broke his nose on his birthday. So blood comes gushing out of his nose. He's in the bathroom trying to reset it because it's crooked, as a broken nose does.
Yeah.
And we tell my mom at the time. At the time, I was living with my mom, and we told her what happened, and she said, we better be kidding. We weren't. So she takes us to the emergency room, and they proceed to put this thing on Blake's nose that is a huge piece of plastic that is designed to keep it from bleeding.
Yeah.
And he's,
you don't want to be bleeding all night.
He's sitting there with this giant thing on his nose, holding some ice up to it. Meanwhile, she and I are in the waiting room staring at him, laughing uncontrollably about this. We think we're pointing at him, laughing.
Oh, God.
They called him into another room to ask if he was being abused.
Knowing him, he probably said something like, yeah, but not by them.
Now, here's where it goes a step further. Sometime later, Blake tells me he sounds very sick. And I said, oh, man, you sound rough. What have you got? Or, I made some joke about stay away, you're contagious. And he's all, no, I'm not contagious. It's just a sinus infection. And I said, oh. And he says, yeah, I get them about every year now. And I said, oh, you get a sinus infection every year? And he says, well, every year since I broke my nose. And so I told my mom this. They said, did you know what Blake told me? You remember that time I broke his nose, or he broke his nose on top of my head? And she says, yeah. I said, did you know he gets a sinus infection every year since then? She starts laughing uncontrollably about this.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, John.
It continues to be funny to this day.
That's great.
Anyway, that's my family. They will sell family photos with me in them, and they will laugh if you break your nose.
And after that weird gurgle, I'm stopping the recording again.
That's my stomach.
Okay. All right, that's going to be our funny stuff at the end. I'm just going to tack that on afterwards.
The whole thing? That could probably be edited a bit.
Nah.
All right.
It's 10 minutes of fun.
Okay.
I'll edit it down.
I was going to say, there's a good bit that I think the picture thing for sure goes.
Oh, yeah. There. Yeah. I'm probably not going to do the broken nose. But I got to keep that gurgle in there somehow.
Sure. Just put the gurgle at the very end. I'm so glad my microphone's powerful enough to pick up my stomach growl. Although that was actually really, really loud.
Yeah, because normally I don't pick up your gurgles. That
Just-
is the weirdest thing I thought I'd say.
Just pretend you're on a boat, Ben. Just pretend you're on a boat.
I'll do that.
Ah, you know what? It is far more pleasant if you pretend you're on a boat.
Yes.
Anyway, chat room, thank you so much for joining us. You're
Yeah,
wonderful.
Thanks for your support for 200 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we don't tend to celebrate what would be the traditional landmark episodes. But we recognize that 200 is a fun round number that we aren't going to get to celebrate the likes of for another 100 episodes. So in that regard, we acknowledge it. We say, hey.
Yeah, just wait till we celebrate our big 202.
Yeah, that's when shit gets crazy.
Because we like double numbers.
Yeah.
And 222, oh my god, just wait till then.
Oh, 222, off the hook.
Yeah.
All right, gang.
Bye, everybody.
Have fun and stay out of trouble. Watch HGC. Hey, let me give you a recommendation, everybody. Watch HGC this weekend.
Home Garden Network?
Nope. That would be HGN.
Oh, Home Garden Channel.
That's how you should remember HGC, which is the Heroes
Global Commission.
Global Championship.
Oh.
It's on. It's great.
All right. It's
Super.
on.
It's on. All right. It's on. It's off. Goodbye,
It's
everybody.
on like Donkey Kong.
Kapow.